Namibia Critical Metals, as you see in the title, formerly we were focused totally on one rare earth project. The company name was changed from Namibia Rare Earths to Namibia Critical Metals 3 days ago. So the company history, how did we get here? That's our stock chart, starting with our IPO in 2011. We created the company basically at the peak of the rare earth bubble. So we did all the right things. We discovered a very significant heavy rare earth deposit. We outlined a 43-101 resource with it. We took it through PEA. But unfortunately, we were riding the wrong side of the commodity price curve, as you see below the price of dysprosium, which is one of our most important metals in the deposit. So we, in 2015, we switched into a lower cash burn mode and committed to continue with the environmental impact assessment on the project, which was completed within 2 years. We were trying to wait out an upturn on the rare earth prices, which unfortunately has not occurred yet. And by 2017, management had made the decision that we had to do something to create value in the company for our shareholders, and we sought out to diversify our commodity base. And we also wanted to do that and stay in the country of Namibia, which we value very highly as a jurisdiction. So we went from one single project, the Lofdal Rare Earth Project, and the map you see in the lower right. We now have 9 projects. They're all focused basically on critical metals. So what we've done is Namibia Rare Earths has partnered with a Namibian private company called Gecko. It's a transformative transaction. We were able to bring a group into the fold that did not just have the property portfolio that we acquired, but they also bring to the table extensive mining experience. Gecko is a diversified mining company in Namibia, as we'll touch on shortly. The other thing that was brought to the table in terms of management, we've got Pine Van Vick in the bottom there. He's now CEO of the company. He's a mining engineer, tremendous experience in the uranium sector in Namibia. Jerry McConnell stepped down as CEO and continues to act as our chair. And the gentleman on the right, Dr. Rainer Elmies, he's our principal geologist, and he's very much a central part of the story because he's the one that discovered the cobalt deposit that we're going to focus on here. So as I say, Gecko Namibia, they're actively mining in Namibia. They operate and just started in joint venture with Amira's, the first graphite mine in Namibia, which is up and running. They also bought the Okaruso fluorspar mine from Solvay, and they've also got a number of industrial mining operations in the country. So our expanded portfolio now has a diversified portfolio. It's also a nice pipeline of different projects from conceptual through to brownfields and more advanced projects, with the top 2 being Lofdal would be the most advanced with the PEA completed, and the second most important project, and the one we're totally focused on at the moment, is the Kunene Cobalt, the second from the top. So our land package through this transaction went from 210 square kilometers to close to 7,000 square kilometers. Cobalt, I think people in the room are probably aware of all the interest in cobalt, the rise in the price, the issues with the DRC. Where are we going to find a sustainable, ethical source of cobalt? Everybody's running back into old cobalt districts, trying to revitalize deposits. People are looking for byproduct cobalt in other types of deposits. Namibia is not the DRC. Namibia is consistently ranked as the second most stable jurisdiction in Africa. Has a long, stable mining history. It's the fourth largest uranium producer in the world. The two most important aspects in their economy are tourism and mining. So this is the map that is driving our current interest in the stock. John showed that. On the right-hand side is a land position of an Australian company that made this discovery called Opuwo. And on the left with all the dots, I'm showing you our land position, which is in excess of 3,000 square kilometers. This is basically an emerging cobalt district that nobody has been paying attention to, and there's essentially two companies there, and we control all the land between us. So this is the JORC resource that was just released about a month ago by the Australian company next door. In terms of contained cobalt, we're talking about a 112 million ton deposit that contains 126,000 tons of cobalt. To put that in perspective, I've looked around for the North American projects that we could compare this to. There aren't too many 43-101 compliant resources. A lot of people are familiar with e-cobalt, the Idaho Cobalt Project. That has a life of mine contained cobalt tonnage of about 14,000 tons. So this is 10 times the size of that. And also, if you're a gold person, that 126,000 tons of cobalt would be worth about $10 billion in the ground, which was pretty close to the equivalent of a 10 million ounce gold deposit. So what we're doing with our ground, we've confirmed the cobalt geochemistry, which was shown on the previous map by those colored dots. We've done more detailed sampling. We know where the geochemical expressions are of the cobalt. That's a 670 square kilometer area you're looking at. Those geochemical lines are 1 kilometer apart. These targets are 1 to 7 kilometers in length. We can't target drill holes on that data. It's too wide spaced. So the white area is showing you where we're about to fly the first airborne electromagnetic survey, which will be completed by the end of June. And then we will be drilling, probably starting end of July, first week in August, and we'll drill 7,500 meters through to the end of October. And the objective there will be to touch as many targets as we can in the first pass. So the deposit, which is over on the right, you're just seeing the end of it there, that's the 112 million tons. The blue line is the stratigraphic horizon, which hosts the cobalt copper mineralization there. So it's a stratabound cobalt deposit. The target here, the concept by Dr. Elmies, was he was looking to demonstrate that these Zambian copper belt type deposits should geologically pass through this part of Namibia. There was a First Quantum Minerals did a joint venture here about 3 years ago looking for the copper. They found a number of lower grade copper intercepts in drilling, which were not of interest to them. They were targeting 2, 3, 4% deposits. They found 0.5%, which was too low. They didn't pay much attention to the cobalt, and so now the Australians have found one of the biggest cobalt deposits in the world as a primary deposit. So the other project that John spoke about very briefly, Lofdal, the rare earth project, this is essentially on hold pending better commodity prices in the rare earth sector. It's a unique deposit in that it is a truly heavy rare earth enriched deposit. 96% of the value of this deposit is in dysprosium, terbium, and yttrium. So our development strategy is pretty straightforward. We're focused totally on the Kunene cobalt, and we'll be taking that through for discoveries. And with drill success, we're hoping to be able to achieve that within the next 3 to 4 months. Management and directors, we have a well-rounded team. Jerry and I have been in Africa for about 30 years, found 3 gold deposits which were taken over by Endeavour. The Gecko team is bringing a much stronger in-country management to our operations, and obviously they're bringing that important mining aspect to our team. So that's our current share position. We came out of a halt trade at a market cap of $4 million in February, and we're currently valued around $50 million, and that's basically because of this transaction and our decision to focus on cobalt. Thank you.